Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. It's Joy with Pajama Crafter Stamps, and we're going to, again, play with Craft Roulette episode. I think it's 305. We're going to wait for everybody to jump on and to see if I go live without any real problems. It looks like it finally populated up on my TV, so I'm going to say we're live. I see Lisa, hello, and Judy, hello, and also Justine, my three buddies. Okay, so Craft Roulette this week kind of threw me for a loop. And I'm probably going to say this all backwards, but the parameters were a joyful fold card, which I'll explain what that is, something that begins with I, and I've already forgotten it, so somebody else is going to have to say what the other two parameters were. I know that I had them. Cartoon colors and... Help me, Justine, I know you know. So if any, this shirt is for Justine. It says, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine," and it's a dumpster fire, and that's kind of about where I'm at. So if somebody could please help me out with the Craft Roulette parameters, but I got 3 out of 4, so I'm doing good already. So you all know that I am going to color with Copics, but for those of you who get tired of watching me color with Copics, we're supposed to use a scrap. Thanks, Judy. And I do have a scrap, so we're good. We're going to start with how to put the card together, and then we'll go to the coloring. So, we are using the Chicken Waffles stamp set. So we've got this guy that's super hungry with his eyes bulging out, and this pretty little girl, a chicken leg, 2 different waffle sets, and a sentiment to say, "I like you a waffle lot. Just chicken up on you, and no one stacks up quite like you, and we go together like chicken and waffles." So it's a really cute set for Valentine's Day, but it's good for any occasion too. You could change up the things. So for my things that start with I, we are going to go with a indigo gigantic chicken. They're basically white, grayish, and black. So that's where we're going to bring in the indigo color. And we're also going to put some icing around these strawberries on the waffles. So that's where we're getting the 2 eyes. We're going to do the joyful fold card, and then we're going to color. So my scrap today was this cute yellow pattern paper. I'm not going to zoom in because we're going to put the card together. So what I did was take an A2 card, so 4.5 by 5.5, and that's side folding. Then I took this, which is the length 5.5, and I just folded it in half. So we're going to end up gluing that down that seam to the edge of the card. So I do recommend that we reinforce those scores with a bone folder, because we like a crisp line. So Justine says the parameter is a joyful card. Starts with an I. Study of ichthyology, which is study of fish, whatever. Colors, cartoon, and random is included scrap. So like I said, I got 3 out of 4. So we are not doing the study of fish. We are going to do indigo. Okay? All right. So I cut this down to be a matte for this yellow. So I'm going to get my Barely Art glue out. And I'm going to put this on my magnet of my cupcake because, I have to be extra. And I'm just using papers from my stash that I thought were cartoonesque. So I wanted some golds, I wanted some yellows and blacks. I think those always remind me of like classic cartoon, but really any cartoon that you watch on TV pretty much has all the colors these days. But we're just going to matte this. I'm going to try to line it up so I can see it and so that you can see it, because that's always the hardest part. And I'm going to use my cute little pet press here to kind of squish out the glue, and this, the felt on the bottom of these will also take that barely glue off if you have any type of leakage, and it gets rid of any type of warping. So again, I'm just going to put down a bead of glue with this Barely Art. Remember, this is going to fold out like this, so it's basically 2 cards. Now you could have done like 2 A2 cards, you could have done like an A2 and an A6, you could have done whatever. I chose a, 5 3/8 fold, or I'm sorry, a 2 3/8 fold by 2 3/8 fold. So we've got this nice little mat, and we're going to put that to the side, and we're going to work on our other mats. So I've got this cute scalloped stitched die. I'm going to get rid of the extra little hairs here, and I'm going to glue that straight down onto this A2 panel. Lisa's saying that I could use icicles. So what I was really thinking, I had a couple things for eye. So within the Pajama Crafter Stamps brand, we have quite a few things to start with an eye. We could have done You're My Pot of Gold or St. Catricks, which are Irish. And tomorrow our Emerald Isle paper is going to be restocked, so that will be available. I know that's a fan favorite, so that would have started with an I-ish. You could have done the sliding by, which has the ice skater, and it has the sled, and it has the ice fisherman, and it has the snow, the sledding penguin. You also, somebody on the Craft Roulette page actually used one of our stamp sets, and they used, what did they use? They used the flippin' vest, and they used the icing on the cookies. Now we are sold out of our seasons, our Baking Spirits Bright, which is also cookies that are iced. So we do have plenty, but those are sold out. But the sliding by is still available, so you would have a cute little stamp set. And then we also have Polar Pals, which are 2 little, it's a seal and a polar bear on the ice. So you could definitely use that for the ice. So quite a few things that you wanted to use. You could also use our pumpkin and spice and make a cold brew if you wanted. Now I'm just using double-sided adhesive to pop up my front card layer, because if you know, you know, I love me some layers. So I'm doing this completely backwards from the way I normally make a card. I usually color everything first, and then I find scraps or papers that match it, but I know not everybody's here for the coloring. I've been told that more than once. So I am accommodating anybody who might not want to watch that. Alright, so now we're going to work on the inside of the card. And I am going to put a bead of glue on here. Now I did pop that up with some thick adhesive. So I honestly maybe should have scored that like with a little bit of a double hinge. So I am going to just, instead of lining it up like right to the edge, I'm going to have it hang off like where the score is. So we have just a little bit more room. So you might have to use a hair bigger envelope. So far we've got a card inside of a card. Oh, look. That worked just fine. It's going to fit fine in an A2 card. So this is the scheme that we have so far. Cute, isn't it? Don't you think? I think it's cute. And Lisa is saying that we could use an eyelet. She thinks that that would be stretching it because it's an E, and she's all about following the rules. But hey, I would totally go with the eyelet. But that's fine. I mean, honestly, we could say this guy has crazy eyes. I don't know. Would Mary let that go? I bet she would. She always lets us wear stretchy pants. Thank God for stretchy pants. Mary Gunn is so much fun. So I'm making sure that this is nice and adhered because this we're gonna mat. We're gonna mat. We're always gonna mat. So this inside is going to be 4 by 5 1/4, and we're just going to glue her down. And that's just to hide that nasty little seam, because I don't like the way it looks. If you like it, you do it. You do you, boo. I'm doing me. That's what's fun about this world, this little rocky world. Everybody does their thing the way they want to, and it's good. I'm going to move this off to the side, and I'm going to mat this. So last time we matted the black, but we want things to kind of show up. So we are just going to mat this onto the black. Sandy Powers is here. Good to see you, Sandy. And congratulations on getting the brace off, and glad that you're healing well. That's amazing. And if I hadn't told you that we are using our pebbled cardstock and our coal cardstock, which are our fan favorites. So the coal is really good for any type of hot foiling, and the pebble is just beautiful because it kind of goes like it's not that, like that dark, like box store craft. It's a really nice sandy color, and it's got little flecks of gray in it, so it'll play really nice like with cooler tones and warmer tones. So that's why I like it. She says I just need to do a little ink blending. Okay, I can do a little ink blending too. We are going to do a little bit of ink blending. Man, I am not the dumpster fire that I'm wearing, because I have you guys helping me out in the gallery today. I am probably missing something. Alright. So I do have this little like dry goods, like ordery thing. I don't know, like if you're going to a bakery or whatever, we might use that, we might not. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this little doodad down. And Sandy, you're just joining us. I'm doing this backwards. I am showing people how to put together the joy fold card. So if you're not here for the coloring, like if you don't want to watch me color one more thing, then you don't have to. If you don't know how to put the card together, now you do. And now you can go play Craft Roulette with all of us and have a grand old time. So this piece is going to get used. I don't know where, I don't know when, but we'll figure it out. Because that's what I do around here. I already know that I'm missing one of the sentiments that I had cut out, like right here. Oh, do you guys want to see a new thing that just hit the store? Because I'm kind of excited about it. So we've been seeing our design team member Shiloh testing these out for some time. So we are bringing in our fancy corners, and they are our neutrals. They are self-adhesive photo corners. So if you don't know what a photo corner is, like back in the day when you would put your little corners in there and you could just decorate it so it looks like you've got a little menu there. Isn't she cute? So we are giving you 2 sheets of black, 2 sheets of white, and 2 sheets of craft. So we were talking about that craft being like not like that boxy store color. So that'll kind of give you an idea. Like a lot of the box store crafts look kind of more like vanilla with some, I don't know, brown orange in it. So that's what I'm talking about. But the reason we decided to carry these white photo corners, and I wanted to give you a sample of all 3, because who wants like 17 pages of the exact same color? Because you're never going to get through all of them. I mean, you might, but you might not. But you can take your Copic markers or any marker that you have, and you can color these white ones any color you want, and then they can match your cardstock. I'm thinking of everything here, guys. So these are $5.99 for 6 sheets, and you get 144 different photo corners for that price. So not too bad of a price, and we might use these in a little bit, but I wanted you to see them. So I have not shown you the packaging on these yet because I literally took them out of the box 35 minutes ago. So yeah. Look, Shiloh's doing the happy dance because she's been trying them out, and every card she has them on there. So there we go. So far, this is our cute little Joy Fold card. See? So it's a card and a card. You can make this any size you wanted and, do the things. So, I like me a little distressing. So I already stamped the I Like You a Waffle Lot. And that's going to get really nice right there. But I would like to add a little bit of brown on there. So I'm going to use one of my favorite browns. Usually most people would choose like vintage photo. I can't find mine. So I just cut, so this is flat white. And I'm just kind of distressing the edges. And I'm doing that so that so you could use any coffee color, anything you want. I mean, even if you wanted to use red, that would really pop off there too. So, just get a little jiggy with it. There's no way you're really screwing it up. And if you are, it's just paper, and you just start over. You stamp it, cut it again. Who cares? So I am going to put that there. And we're probably going to make this little cheeky leg right here to go with it. I'm not sure. We're playing. Today is all about playing. So I don't know what we're doing. We may not do that. Who knows? So we're gonna pop her up because we know she's gonna get dimension. Because if you've been around here for any amount of time, I love me some dimension on my cards, almost to the point that I make people crazy with it. But hey, why not? It's really cool. If you don't like dimension, if you don't like adding that extra stamp, because I hear people say all the time, put an extra, 75 cents, 20 to 75 cents stamp. I'll break the bank, then I want to do it. Once it gets to a certain thickness, then you have to add extra postage. Then don't pop yours up. For me, whoever I'm taking the time to make a card for, means that they're pretty darn special. And I don't care if I had to put it like in an envelope and mail it for $4 or $5. Oh my God, chicken leg is an exclamation point. I could do that. So we're going to put her right here in the middle. And I kind of like how that flat white matches that pebbled beach. So that's our first element. Okay. And while I'm talking about the flat white, I'm going to go ahead and distress this little order ticket. So this would be like from a bakery. I think the papers I'm using are bakery themed, but I thought it kind of looked like, like a chicken dinner or a buffet type, color. So I'm going with it, and it's very cartoony looking. So again, you do whatever you think is appropriate for your card. Like I think a good red, yellow, and black are like phenomenal colors for cartoon colors. So I'm going to clear off my desk a little bit. So here are the images that we're going to color. And again, we're going to do our traditional reds, yellows, blacks, and then we've got to do this indigo chicken. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to kind of do what I want to do, because it's my card and I can do what I want to do. But I think she needs like a little more color. So I am going to cheat just a hair. She's not going to be perfect. So let me see if I can find you what this is supposed to look like. Let me see here. I go to my photos. I don't want to bring up anything that I'm not supposed to. I don't have any dirty pictures on there, but you know how that goes. So let's turn down that color. So this is what one of those indigo gigantic chicken fully grown things look like. Kind of scary. I saw one that was really pretty. And then there's this one that's like all white, which has some polka dots. Kind of reminds me of a Dalmatian. But those spots we're going to color an indigo color. And my favorite indigo color is like the BB20 family. So let's do this. Well, I lied. Let's go with a C2 and 3, C1, 2, and 3, and we're gonna really zoom in here. Oops, you got to see how dirty my desk is. No surprise there if you've known me for like 5 seconds or longer. Okay. I always have to see, like, can you see that? Alright, so where anything is white, it has shadow still, so you still have to use, like, some sort of a gray. So I am going to outline this scallop with a C3. And by scallop, I just mean her little head feathers here. Okay. And her fingers would be, or I don't know, are those, that I guess, we're animating these like they're humans because they're holding forks, so they definitely would, I'm going to call it the hand, but it would be the feather, right? So I'm giving them a shadow there, her a shadow there, and I don't really think that girls have gobblers, but I don't know, our artist thought she needed them, so she's got a gobbler. Gobble gobble. And down here, she's going to have a cast shadow. We might even go in with like a C5. But for right now, we're going to leave it there. Alright. So that was the C3. And we're going to go in with a C1. And we're just going to smooth that out just a hair. Like, guys, this is not hard coloring. Like, this is beginner, alcohol marker friendly coloring. But we're just putting shadow in where a shadow would be. Because we've got to give her some dimension. We got to bring her to life. And I'm going around her gobbler, which again, she would not have a gobbler. Unless she's, you know, identifies as a rooster. I don't know, but she is not. She's a hen. But in this day and age, who knows? Who knows what she identifies as? Today, she is a hen with a gobbler. I'm a hot mess, you guys. Is anybody else like wanting to die listening to me talk? Because I'm kind of like wanting to crawl into a hole. So I'm getting out the BB 29, 25, 23 family. And I'm going to go ahead and get out a Y 13 and a 19, and I'm just going to do her little feet and beak. So Y13 is my lightest color. And you know, I would honestly say that most likely they don't even have like orange or yellow feet. I don't know why we do that, but we do. It's always something that we do. So then this is Y19, which is my darker color. And I'm just kind of dotting her in. Cute. She's cute. She's cute. I love her. Alright, here's where we're bringing in the indigo. This is BB29. I'm taking both caps off because I have no idea when I refilled these last. It's probably been longer than I care to admit, but we are not going to find out the hard way. So we're kind of going around the edges here of the plumage. Okay. She is very inky. She almost looks black. Kind of like, that's why I said we're calling it indigo. Because it's a BB family. Blue violet. And if you think of like the ink that a octopus puts out, which is notoriously called indigo, it's almost black. Am I right? And we're going to give her some little squiggles. They don't have to match up. I'm not kind of doing what the artist is doing. And I'm going to give her some dots down here. And I haven't decided what we're doing up there yet, so we're going to leave her gobbler. Love those chickens. Hey, Tara. Good to see you. So we're doing Craft Roulette. So we are doing an indigo gigantic chicken to meet the eye. We're also putting icing on our waffles for our chicken and waffles. we've already made our card, and I'll show you that in a minute. But for now, we're messing with with the plumage or the feathers of our cute little girl here. Now, technically speaking, the male part of the species with birds, they're actually the prettier of the species. So I should give him like a lot more color than I'm giving her. But it's my card, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and probably she'll be cuter because, well, dang it, she is cute. You have to admit, she is darn cute. And I'm going to give her hands just a little bit of color. So she's basically a white chicken with just some indigo in her, you know? Alright, so still think that we need to give her like maybe some spots. So I'm going to use the C2. And I'm just going to feather in some of those colors just to give her a little bit of something, something. You know what I mean? Something, something. And we're going to come in, I think I left that BB23 out for her little tail feathers. So this is actually some pretty easy coloring. Now you guys know she's going to have a red bow because no card of mine is complete without like red, right? So we're going to get out my favorite colors, which is an R59, 29, 46, and 24. And we're going to get her colored. So this up here probably is maybe some feathers. I'm going to make it one big giant bow, okay? Because it's my card and I can do what I want. You love the curly feathers? Me too. So where the artist drew in this little pucker, it's going to be the darkest. I'm using the R59. And I'm going to give like a little cinch down the center. And then there's going to be a shadow where this big old tuft is. So we're going to kind of leave it like that. Then we're going to use the R29 as my second darkest color. And I'm going to start feathering that out. I'm going to do a little divot right here. So you're going to start to see it kind of gather, and then I'm just going to extend that up where the rest of that bow is. That probably should have been feathers, like, you know, like if we had like a bun on top of our head, but it, like I said, it's my card. I'm going to do what I want to do. When it's yours, you do what you want to do. That was the 4-6. That was my first mid-tone, and then this is, or my second mid-tone, and then this is my highlight color. This is the R24. I think she looks good with that big old bow up there. And I'm going to give her a gobbler, even though I'm telling you she's not supposed to have a gobbler, but she's got a gobbler in our stamp. So, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. Don't ask me what's gotten into me. Okay. Isn't she cute? Now, for cohesiveness, we are going to give her a yellow fork. Should we give her yellow? No, we're going to use the BB family. We're going to go ahead and use that mid-tone, which is the BB25. So in this color scheme, I'm only using 3 colors for that BB. Sometimes I use 4, sometimes I use 5. In this case, I'm using 3. But for the fork, I'm just going to do a little bit of the BB29. right there where the fingers would kind of like leave a shadow. And it's so small, you guys. Like, I am being very finicky, and you don't have to do that. Like, not at all. So, I just color it on my thumb. Yay! Alright, so I do think that she needs a cute little cheek, because she needs cute little, chubby cheeks. So, let's give her some. So, her cheeks are going to be here. And you're barely going to see them on this side. So, I don't like that big round dot of a cheek, the cherry cheek, like you see like a lot of people from the UK do. So I always come in and I either use like a C0 or my colorless blender, and I kind of, wash it out. But isn't she pretty? And honestly, you guys, she does not need anything more. She really doesn't. I say that as I come in and I'm kind of putting in some shadows underneath the curves. And I'm doing that with the C2. And I'm going to put this whole thing in shadow. But that's all she needs. So that's our girl. And I'm going to leave some of those colors out. We are going to, if I haven't lost it already. I am such a hilarious person when I'm on camera. Never know where the things went. Now we're going to do this fine gentleman. Okay? And we're going to start with his feet, because why the heck not? So he's just going to have a darker foot. He's just going to do a Y19. Now for those who are going to ask, no, I don't have dies for these, but I was successfully able to cut them out with my scan and cut. So what I did is I put them all on the top half of my 12 by 12 mat, and I had to only scan the 6-inch portion, and I scanned it in black and white. Now, I prefer to color everything first and then scan everything in color. The machine always plays nicer that way, but then you wouldn't be here to be able to color with me. And that's the whole point of us hanging out on these lives, am I right? So this is just the Y13. So we went from the darkest dark to the Y13, which is almost the lightest of the teen family. I, however, am going to go in with a Y23, or I'm sorry, E23, and make that inside of his mouth this, like, what is this called? Hazelnut, and that just gives that a little bit of dimension. Alright, now his eyes kind of are scary, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna give him some dimension. So with that, I'm going to take this C2 and I'm gonna kind of give him some curvature of that eye. We don't have to do the whole thing, we just need to do some. And that was with the C2, and now I'm going to use the C1 and I'm going to blend it out. And that just kind of makes those eyes seem like they're a little three-dimensional. Now you could like make him look like he was like... So Lisa's saying that she needs some Stardust pen, she should sparkle. And she also thinks that this should have some Google eyes. Yeah, or you can make him look drunk and give him like bloodshot eyes. That would be just hilarious, because we all know we go to well, at least down here in the South, we all go to Waffle House when after we've had a little bit too much to drink and we've got bloodshot eyes. But that's a story for a whole nother day, because we ain't getting into all that stuff, huh? But you know we all got our stories, because we're grown adults. Okay, so I'm going to use the E30 family for this guy. We're going to make him just an everyday chicken that we're used to seeing on the farm. So I am outlining this cute little wing. So I'm putting in the shadows. Now he's supposed to have a gobbler. So he's got some dangle dangles. You guys can say whatever you want to say about what I'm saying right now. It's fine. And I'm going to give him a little round belly. I'm going to color in those two little nugget of legs. Going to do the bottom part of his little tail feathers. And I'm always moving the marker or the paper to be comfortable for my wrist. So I'm going to go dark between his eyes. Going to come up like a V. And kind of feather that out. And we're going to color in his little fingers or whatever. Wings. And now I'm coming in with E37. And I'm just extending all those shadows. We're not doing anything too heartbreakingly or painstakingly hard today. In fact, we're going to make it real easy. We're going to color that whole area around the mouth. So he's done. We're going to do a couple more flicks up. And we're going to color that in. You notice I kind of didn't stay in the lines. It's fine. We'll figure that out in a minute. Everything's fixable. You just have to keep on going. It's just paper and ink. And if you screw it up too much, well, then restamp it and start over. Or use it as a chance for embellishment. And that's probably what we're going to do here. Because we're not sweating the small stuff. Sandy says she loves her some Waffle House. So what is your favorite thing from Waffle House? Or are you going to be like normal and just say it's the waffle? I can't believe I'm saying this, I like the chicken and the eggs. Especially if it's 2 in the morning and I've had a little bit too much to drink, which hasn't happened in a really long time. But once upon a time in my younger age years, that was the only thing that was open in our little small town where I grew up. So, I want to talk to you about a little story about chickens. So, when my dad first started dating my now stepmom, she would come over to the house, and I would always have brown eggs. And I would have a lot of them. So he convinced her that I had chickens in the backyard. And she's like, Rick, there's no, she can't have chickens. She lives in an HOA. She goes, I swear, honey, she had chickens. She's got them in the back. She goes, well, I can't see them. She goes, well, yeah, because she's in an HOA. She has to put them back in the woods. She's got them in a coop back in the back of the woods. And she believed him hook, line, and sinker. The poor woman. It's probably why she hates me, because I always went along with all of his shenanigans. So she swore for years that I had chickens, and every time I'd come to her house, she would ask me to bring her fresh eggs. Now, you need to know, my grandparents at age 89 decided they were no longer cooking. And my grandmother never cooked a day after 89. And they went out to dinner, or for breakfast, every day of the week. And then they went out to dinner like 3 times a week. And Pam, the lady who worked at one of the restaurants one of the diners that they went to for breakfast, lived on a farm and would bring them at least a dozen eggs like 2 to 3 times a week. So my grandparents could never say, no, give that to somebody else. They wanted to offend her. They would always take the eggs, so I would always end up with the extra eggs. And I mean, when we say eggs, I had more eggs than I ever cared to have. This is only so much one person could eat, but I didn't want to hurt their feelings. So I always had eggs. So every time my now stepmom would ask for eggs, farm fresh eggs, I would bring them to her. And I'm telling you, up until like 5 years ago, she actually believed that I had chickens back in the woods. Now, my HOA, well, like all HOAs, they suck. If they ever knew that we had eggs, I'd get in trouble. I get in trouble for garbage cans, all kinds of. Well, we're not going to get into that because I don't want to I've got stories. Let's just say I actually became president of the HOA one time because I wanted to get rid of the HOA. That's how much I hate the HOA. But needless to say, it's almost impossible to get rid of an HOA. It's like trying to get rid of the U.S. government. You just can't. They just stick with you for life. So if Sandy says they don't have a house in Minnesota, well, girl, you got to start traveling a little bit more south and come see me then. And then she said that they had chickens on their farm. Her grandparents, and they hated collecting eggs. Me, I would love to have chickens. Seriously, if I could get by with having a chicken coop in the woods, like it's not my property, like it only goes back so far, and then it's the farmers or whoever it is behind me that owns that part of the woods. I would have chickens. I would have chickens. I'd have goats. I'd have rabbits. I'd have a donkey. I don't know. There's a guy named Matt Matthews, and he's got a donkey called Wookie. I would have a Wookie. But whatever. Lisa, I'm telling you, when you come south, you're going to Waffle House. It's the worst experience of your life, but you're going to do it. So I'm going to put in those same little marks with that BB 29, so that was 25, and we're just giving a little bit of shading. Okay? Okay. And we're going to use the R24 for his little gobble, 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 because he does have a gobble, gobble. I'm going to have to tease Kelly about her female having a gobbler. Somebody needs to correct me if females have gobblers. I don't think that they do, but who cares? It's funny. It's funny. I'm having a good time. I'm not that serious about chickens other than I want to have them in my yard like so bad. I can't stand it. Okay? Alright. So here are our two little chickens. I happen to like him better. I think he's like beautiful. Anyway, we're moving on. We're going to do this teeny tiny little chicken leg. Can we... There we... Kind of. I'm telling you guys, I think this set is so cute. We're going to use the same colors for the chicky leg as we are for that male chicken, but we're going to just put the texture in. And you can't screw this up, you guys. I mean, it's like if you just want to like dot all the colors and put the texture in, you so could. You know, in fact, I kind of am. You could do like little squiggles. I mean, it's a chicken leg. I mean, you guys have seen how gnarly chicken legs come out, especially if you get a Kentucky Fried Chicken. You don't even know if that's real chicken or if it's good for you or if you're going to die. It just depends on what day of the week it is. Definitely don't go if the truck hasn't been there recently. That's all I got to say about that. My husband used to work at KFC. I've heard all the things. So Sandy is saying that her husband and her have cattle, 5 goats, a donkey, and a dog on the farm. Your niece and her husband have cattle, 5 goats, a donkey, a dog. So I don't know if I'd want... Yeah, I'd want the cattle because I'd want to eat them. But I would have a problem. Justine and I have talked about this. I would have a real hard time, like, if I lived on a real working farm, because they would all become my pets, like my children. And I don't know that I would be able to butcher them at the end of the day. But in reality, I mean, I am all about the steak, so, hey, Mimi cow might end up becoming, like, Mimi steak. I don't know why I'm calling her Mimi, but I imagine that I would have a Mimi. So this is we did a 3-9, this is a 3-5, and we're just tutting that in. We're getting some of the ridges in there. This is not hard coloring, you guys. Nothing I have done today is like earth-shatteringly special, like beginner grade coloring here. Dream world, you'd have sheep. That's what Justine said. I would love to have a sheep. I'd like to have goats. But I'd have that one goat that would like break down the fence and, oh, I don't know. I'd like to have geese too. Isn't she cute? Isn't she cute? I love her. I love her. Okay. I don't know why I'm singing. Because it's, God knows it's terrible. Alright, we've got to find the waffle. Where'd the waffle go? Where'd you go, waffle? Did you guys hear Gracie? She had to make an appearance. That's the cockatoo. She's saying, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I'm like, Gracie, stop. If anybody knows, I don't love me a Gracie. Just say, I mean, I love her. I don't wish her any harm. Well, most of the time. I just can't stand the way she screams all the time. So I'm doing the pit of these, I don't know, was that a pit? I don't know what you call these. Like, you know, how like when you slice the strawberry in half, it's like light. I'm doing that in an R11. And then I'm going to jump to a 14. And I'm just dotting those in. You guys, I mean, this is like not hard coloring. I promise this is not hard coloring. Like we're going dot, 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 dot. I mean, squiggle, squiggle, dot, 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 whatever you want to call it. That's what we're doing. We're not doing anything that's hard. Now for the outside, we're doing the R24. And if we want to, we could go in with a darker color and kind of dot it in to give some texture. But all we're trying to do is kind of give the illusion of like we know what we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, that's really all we're trying to do is give the illusion that these small little spaces are strawberries. Am I right? I think so. Now blueberries. Oh, what is my favorite color for blueberries? Don't drop your markers on the floor. Because that's the way they crack. So I'm going to do the B66, 63, 69, and 79 color. So the 79 color I'm going to do right here in the little XY, because it's the darkest. You could even use like a B99, which is like a navy blue color. Like it really doesn't matter. And then on these that are like not showing the XY, I'm just going to go beep, little C's. Just so that we have a little something going on, and then where the strawberries overlap, then I'm doing that. Then I'm gonna maybe do a little bit of this B69. In fact, we're just gonna chuck that. We're gonna go to the 66, and we're gonna dot that in right above it, around it. Because you know that, like, these, like, blueberries kind of have, like, that dusty color to it. I think my head got in the way. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm old. I'm old, and I'm trying to see, and I'm trying to do video, and it's really hard when you have to, like, be far away from your image so that you can see what you're doing. Okay. Look, I completely left out those blueberries, so we're just going to do that light color. And I'll decide if I want to come back in later with something else. Alright, I do want to use a slightly different color family, just because I need there to be some differentiation between like the chickens and the waffles and all the things. So I'm using the E5 family, so I'm doing like a 5... 3, 5, 7, 5, 9, 5, 9. I'm going to even bring in an E50. Alright. So, where these squares are, you're going to have a darker color. Okay? So at least on one side. So keep it consistent with that side. And we'll go ahead and put a nice cast shadow here where that's overlapping, and then we will put a little bit of shadow there, and we'll put a shadow inside that square. There's going to be a shadow where this berry overlays, and there's also going to be one right across there. Okay? And we need to extend it this way. And there's going to be a shadow where this berry is overhanging. And let's just give it a little bit of dimension, so we'll kind of go up the sides. This one will be a nice shadow here. And we're gonna beep, beep, beep. Okay. Looks really dirty and nasty right now. It's fine. Going on the outside of these berries that are on the actual waffle itself. Now we're going to an E57. So you say their goals are to manage the buckhorn in the pastures. That's a good idea. Keep it from overgrowing the pastures. Okay, looking kind of dirty to me right now, but we're going to brighten this up. So this is the E55. This is going to be the main color. See how that's going to start to brighten up those colors? So it doesn't look like we have a burnt waffle. And we're going to go up that side. I don't know about you, I just had a bunch of waffles this weekend because I was out of town. And let me tell you, my waffles weren't like all one color. They were, like a little more crispy here and a little less crispy there. And that's why I like them. So that's why I'm putting in some of the darks, because if you want the darks, you got to have the light so that they pop. Okay. Now I went over the lines where the icing is. Some people might say that it's butter, some might say it's glaze. For me, it's icing. So I'm just taking my colorless blender and I'm dotting that out until it disappears. Okay? So in the meantime, for the plate, let's do the green on the berries. And that's such a tiny color, we're just going to use one color. We're not going to go crazy and put in like 3 colors on these like little slivers. But doesn't that just make it so darn cute? So darn cute. And then we're going to use an E41 and kind of dot in this little icing. Okay? Because it's not exactly white, but it's not exactly brown. So we just need just a little bit of color. You could use gray. What color plate do you think we should use? Should we use yellow to tie in the rest of the card? I think we should use yellow. That's what I think. Because then we've got coherency throughout the entire color scheme. So I'm coming in with this Y13. I usually do the darkest first, but not this time with the plate. And I'm going to use this Y19, and I'm going to kind of put the shadow in where this plate, where these waffles would be. And I'm also going to feather that out. Okay, so that looks very disjointed. So that was a Y19. I'm going to bring in the Y15. The 17 in my Copics is darker than my 19. So I'm bringing in my 15 as my mid-tone, which it truly would be. So there we go. Now, I think we need some little like speckles to break up the pink on the berries, just because it was just a lot. And I'm going to clean up some other spots here that I don't like right here. Going to make it more golden. So the reason I'm able to go over my colors with my Copics is because they are a translucent color, so you can build up your colors as needed. And you can also like push back the darker colors with the lighter colors because it has more alcohol in it. Alright, that was a whole lot of, I think we need to bring that E5 back in. Let's get rid of this ugly feather stroke. See how that works. Okay. Alright. Now let's do our highlights. So I'm going to bring in this Copic Acrea. And I'm going to really make this icing kind of pop and give it some 3-dimension because this is an acrylic marker. But we can also like give it some sparkles. And where we went out of the lines, we can kind of go beep beep. Give it some dots. We can give it a little bit of slickness there. Give the plate some shine. And that's that one. And let's go back to this cutie patootie. And on her bow, we're going to give her a little bit of a sparkle. Before we go much further, I screwed that up. I made that bleed a little bit where her bow was. Not like it hurt. Sometimes when you don't like things, you just kind of add sparkles. I really don't know what happened in her little cheeky cheeks here. So we're going to make her look like the Southern Belle she's meant to be. We're going to rosy her up. Why not? Okay. Can I put her aside to dry? I am going to put like some sparkle in his eye. Give him some dots down there on his belly. Give him a little bit of shine on his beak. Just kind of bringing those eyes to life. And I don't think this needs much, but we can kind of... That's it for that. We are going to zoom back out so we can start to put the card together. And in order to get a good focus, I'm going to use one of my ink pads if I can find the one I want. So we will use this one. Okay. So we're bringing the things back in. So I have no idea how we're really putting this together. I kind of feel like this would be good there. In fact, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue her down. Now, if you don't want your barely art glue to ever clog, you want to either put it upside down in a cupcake holder, because it's got a stopper, or you want to put the pin back in it. But you definitely don't want it to be clogged like I just did. So let me go ahead and unclog that, because I did none of those things. You would think by now I would have this down. Okay. I like you all waffle lot. Let's see. So I'm going to put him kind of out like that. So let me glue that down. Yep, we're going to do that. I want to pop him up because, you know, it's me. We're popping the things up. You said she's so cute. Thanks, Judy. You're always a good cheerleader for me. I love it. Y'all are. I love it when you guys show up and root on the monkey. I call myself the monkey because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth or what I'm going to do next, but we always know it's going to be fun one way or the other. It might be fun at my expense, but my goodness, we're going to have a good time. All right, let me release that tape. It's almost kind of like, is it terrible that I've got like the chicken leg and the chicken and he looks like he's getting ready to eat a chicken? Kind of find it hysterical, to be honest with you. So look at that, so cute. So, hold on. Do we think that she needs to be... Does she need to be down there? Hold on. How do we want her? Or, hold on. I just have to think. Let's go ahead and cut this off. So I had said we go together like chicken and waffles. So in order to do that, I am going to line this up on a end and cut her off like that. And then I'm going to line up the W like in the C straight with the mark there, with the bar, and lob it off. And we're going to pop that up because, well, it's me. You guys know I said that this was, hold on. We have to think about this. This doesn't matter. Okay, so we go to we're gonna put that there. I like it so far into my planning, and then you guys are along for the ride. You love the yellow plate, Justine. Thank you. Sandy said my coloring's so good she almost looked at the screen. I think she's being kind now. But thank you. I am learning that I need to take compliments. And that's a very hard thing for me to do, just so you know. Oh, guys, that's what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, we got this. We got this down. So let's go ahead and glue down our waffles. And so you see I'm kind of tucking that underneath the sign so that it's grounded. That's the word. Hard word. Words are hard. And then I'm going to have her almost stepping on to the plate. So one foot's on. Let me use my little cat press because I've got a little bit of seepage. And I want to glue the little fork down. Okay, so question. Do we need another scrap piece of paper here? Just out of curiosity. So we've got that. And we open it up and I guess we go together like chicken and waffles. And you know that no card is complete in my world without a little red heart. You know that I love me some red, like red hearts. They're my fave, guys. Y'all know that if you've been around any amount of time. And if you didn't know that about me, that means that you haven't paid attention to a word I say or do. So I'm going to grab one of the bigger hearts on here. And I'm going to pop him down. These just came from one of the big box stores. I don't have any of these in the store. I should for as much as I use them. Boop, boop. And I'm going to use, I thought I was going to use the daffodil. Daffodil confetti. Cute red heart, thank you. I almost feel like we need one like over here too. Like we need more than one. Do we need, oh, I left one out. See, sometimes the heart knows what the heart wants before the heart knows it because, or the cognitive heart knows it because one little red heart stayed in the dish even though I fed her back into the jar. So like I said, sometimes the heart knows what it wants. The heart just wants it, it wants it all. So now we're doing the daffodil confetti. Our confetti always comes in three sizes. So you can have multiple things going on your card. Where'd my little picker-upper go? So our crafter's wand is available in the store. We've got the rose gold with the silver, or I'm sorry, with the clear gems in there, and then we've got the wax tips. I really like our wax tips. They seem to really pick up nicely. I've had some from other stores at other times in my life that weren't so sticky, and they didn't turn out so great. So these are just going to give us a little bit of glitter, a little bit of pizzazz without adding a whole lot of a whole lot of, you know, sometimes less is more. And that's what I'm thinking this is. So they're almost see-through, but they gave you just a hint of yellow, which coordinates nicely with the yellow paper and the yellow plate. So I've got those on front. And then we are going to go ahead and put some more down. And you definitely do not need to dump out as many as I do. I mean, that's just ridiculousness. But, again, I'm on live TV, or well, not TV, but live streaming, and anything goes when you're not in your right mind doing stuff. So I'm just kind of grabbing a few, putting them down. See how they're so clear? You can put it right over those cupcakes. My goodness, over the waffles, and you don't see it. And even I put some on her, and it gives her a little bit of glitter pizzazz, but you don't have anything crazy going on. All right, so I really want to call that a day. Off camera, I am definitely going to glaze that white icing with some. Let's see if I have any of the stuff. I only have, oh. Let's see if I have anything left in these. So this is from Recollections. So I want that one. This one I can tell I don't have anything left. I want the one from Recollection. I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm usually the girl that wants the... I'm a big component of the stickles. Which one is this one? I want to say it's Snow Flurries, or no, it's Diamond. But I'm liking this glitter glue from Michaels today, so that one's going to be the winner. So I'm putting the icing on. I'm even going to put it on the strawberries, because I think it's fun. So when that dries, which I'm going to go eat dinner, and then I'll come back and take pictures and photograph it, because it'll take a while to dry. That's the one reason I don't use a lot of like mixed media, like the stickles and the gels and stuff. It's because I have no patience, and I always end up putting my hand right in the middle of it. But that is how that looks. It's definitely iced, and we definitely have a cute little chicken. And I like you a waffle lot with our chicken, and I think he's adorable. And I think that this turned out to be a super cute card. So we did the Joy Fold card. We did the icing, we did the big eyes, and we did the indigo chicken. We used the reds, the blacks, and the yellows for cartoon colors. And we used a scrap to make this little square here. Actually the black and the gold. So I think we met all the requirements for Craft Roulette episode 305. I'm really glad that y'all came and hung out with me on that one. I'm going to put something here to keep this from falling down onto the icing. And I'm going to call this a day. I know my desk got to be a mess, but it is time for dinner. And I will see you next Tuesday. If you have any questions, you can holler at me. And as soon as I get the pictures done, I will submit them. That's what Justine says. And if you have not liked and subscribed previously, we would love to have you join us every Tuesday. Our design team posts on YouTube at least 2 to 3 times a week. So we are putting out a lot of content. We also blog. We're on Instagram, all those things. So come find us, ask us questions, befriend us. We are a friendly group here at Pajama Crafter Stamps. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.